Hey there, this is Mr. Wolf, and I'm here to teach you a little bit about multiplication and division. This is lesson 11, and today we're going to be talking about missing factors and knowing which factor is missing in our multiplication problem so that way we can solve it. So let's first start out with a picture of multiplication using groups of, okay? And let's say I've got three groups, all right? I've got three groups. And let's suppose that, well, we'll just do one as a regular problem, right? That we know when it comes to multiplication. Okay, so I'm going to put some dots in here. And I want you to think in your mind as I'm drawing these dots, what is going to be my multiplication sentence? Pause the video right now after looking at this picture and determine what is our multiplication sentence that matches this picture. Yeah. It would be three groups of 5, right? And what is three groups of 5 equal to? How many dots do I have all together? Pause the video to count that out. You're right, three groups of 5 is 15, okay? So 15 is the product. That is, we could say it's the total. Yeah, because see, there's 15 dots all together in my picture, right? And what does the 3 mean? Well, the 3 is the number of groups. And it also could be, if we're talking about an array, it could be the number of rows, right? Okay. And then, what about the 5? What is the 5? Well, there's 5 in each, right? So we're going to say that this is going to be the size of the group. Okay, size of the group. So the 3 is the number of groups. 1, 2, 3 groups, right? If we were talking about an array, it would be 3 rows. The second factor here, each one of these numbers is called a factor. The first is called a factor, the second one's called a factor. These factors, the first factor tells me how many groups or rows there are. The second factor tells me the size of the group. Yeah, there's 5 in each group. There's 5 here, there's 5 here, and there's 5 here. And then this tells me the whole thing. The product, that is the total, or we could say the whole thing, right? The whole thing is 15, okay? Now let's suppose we take the same problem, and let's say I know the size of the group, or excuse me, I know this right here. And I know that there are 15 altogether. I know there's 15 altogether. I want to know what my multiplication sentence is to solve for the missing factor, for what I'm missing. Well, looking at this picture, what am I missing? Well, first, let's decide what we already have. So, looking at this picture, what do I already know? Do I know the groups, or do I know the size of the group? Which one of these numbers do I already know? If you said I already know the groups, you're right, because I've already got 1, 2, 3 groups, right? Do I know yet how many are in each? Now you may be thinking, yes, I do know because it's going to be 5 in each, but look at this picture. Do I have it yet? No. So this is how I would write it. We've got 3 groups of, I don't know, right? We'll put a question mark right there. What does this question mark tell me? This question mark tells me I don't know the size of each group. I don't know how many go in each. I know that 15 is going to be the total, and I know I've got 3 groups. I know 15 is my total. If I add up all these groups, or add up how many dots are in each group, it's going to be 15. And I know that there are 3 groups, but I don't know how many are in each. Okay? And so, what number is going to go in this blank? Who can tell me what the question mark is going to be equal to? What is going to be the size of my groups that I need to put in each group here? Pause the video if you need to take a moment to solve. Yeah, 5, right? And we can see that clearly from the picture up above, right? So what does the question mark equal? 5. All right, let's take another problem. And let's suppose on this one, I know that there are going to be, let's say 18. There's going to be 18 dots, okay? And, excuse me, I know there's going to be 18 dots. And let's say I know that, how do I want to say this? Let's say I've got 18 cookies, right? I got 18 cookies. And I know I want to give each person 2 cookies. All right? So I want to give each person 2 cookies. So this person gets 2, right? This person gets 2. This person gets 2. I want to know how many people I can give cookies to. Well, I know the total, right? 18 is the total. Or we could say the whole thing, right? That's the whole. And I know the 2's, but I don't know how many 2's I'm going to need. So what do I know? Do I know the number of groups? Or do I know the size of each group? Pause the video to figure out, what does the 2 represent? Is the 2 the number of groups, or is it the size of each group? Yeah, it's the size of each group. I know this. This is 2. But do I know the number of groups? Nope, I don't. So that is my unknown. It's my question mark. Okay, so then let's write a multiplication sentence. Well, I know the whole thing, right? The whole thing is 18. Do I know the number of groups? I don't. Blank groups of how many? 2. All right, well, what does my question mark equal then? Well, how do you solve this? I think you could use a number bond to solve this. I think you could use a tape diagram to solve it. We could also use skip counting, right? Since there's 2 in each group, we could count by 2's until we get to 18 and figure out how many times it took us to get there, because multiplication is repeated addition. Well, let's see here. 2 plus 2 is 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. Okay, great, awesome, I got to 18. Now how many 2's did I have to add up? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So if this was my repeated addition sentence, I have 9 2's. 9 2's. And I can write that as a multiplication sentence to figure out what my equal sign equals, right? Or what my question mark is equal to, right? So what is my question mark equal to? If this equation needs to say 9 2's, then what is my question mark equal to? That's right, 9, because if we put a 9 right here, 9 times 2 is the same as 9 2's. And when I put 9 2's and repeatedly add them together, I get 18. Awesome. So in today's work, you're going to be drawing pictures, doing repeated addition, skip count, making an array, using different strategies to solve word problems to write your multiplication sentence as a missing factor. Okay? So this is the goal. in the exit ticket, you'll want to make sure that you're writing it as the whole thing is the same as the multiplication sentence, but you'll want to put a question mark for what the missing factor is, okay? Is the missing factor the number of groups, or is the missing factor the size of the group? You'll need to decide that on your own. But why don't you take a minute to do the exit ticket? There's a few problems on there. Make sure you take your time to do your very best.